Hey, it's going guys, Max. Welcome back to another show episode, another reaction. What? Wait, Max is uploading on his channel? Oh my god, dude, where the fuck is he going? Chat, I've been doing a podcast, chat, and that's for all the work's been going. But we are going to be back, just kind of up. I'm trying to fit this channel into the schedule. Just with the podcast, that's the longer forms of content, and we got like other smaller videos for us, so I don't get a lot of time to upload on this channel, but I'm trying to get it into it. But today we're just reacting to obviously today, as I'm recording, is Friday, but Jake Paul's fighting Anthony Joshua today, and then which I'll be watching later, and I'll be reacting to the Pain game right now. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua could be deadly. This guy knows a ton about the sport, and I have a lot of respect for him, and he supports the boxing community, so everybody knows all about boxing on this channel, so we're going to react to him. All shout out to him. I'll have his link down in the description below. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua is finally upon us, and I still can't believe it.
Also, go check out the pod down below in the description, the Talking Couch podcast. Check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Link down below.
You have to understand, I interviewed Jake Paul before his first ever fight.
I would hate training for this by myself. Like, it'd be lonely. I wouldn't work as hard. Like,
I mean, fuck me, I've changed a bit, but fucking hell, he's changed a lot. It's truly insane for me, this. Like, I'm like, how the fuck did this happen, man? The first time I seen Jake Paul on YouTube, it was like a music video.
Every day, bro. It's every day, bro. It's
every day, bro. Dude, who remembers when this song first dropped? Dude, remember all the disses? Oh my god.
Let's just put this in context for you lot. The same year this song came out, Anthony Joshua was doing this.
I think doing it if you feel it.
Oh no, not Klitschko. Yo, shout out Klitschko brothers. Greatest boxing brothers in the history of boxing, in my opinion.
AJ was knocking out one of the best heavyweights of a generation. This is utterly insane. This would be like when I started YouTube, I was complaining about a Newcastle footballer, and then I just started like part-time training football on the side, and all of a sudden I'm taking it a bit more seriously. And then all of a sudden I'm starting for Newcastle in the Premier League, playing in a World Cup final or something. Like it's that level of mental. Anthony Joshua has been in the top 2-3 heavyweights for the last decade. Yeah, he might not be quite as highly ranked now, but fucking hell, he hasn't just completely lost his ability, like. And look, everyone is just expecting Jake Paul to get annihilated in this fight, as he should. And what I want to kind of ask in today's video is, like, what can Jake Paul do? Can he survive for any meaningful length of time?
This fight's scary, right? For Jake. Dude, if I'm Jake, I mean, you're shitting your pants, you know what I'm saying? I think Jake knows. I mean, he knows he's going to be in a ring for the weights, but he's doing this to prove that he's able to get these fights. I think he's taking the wrong route here. I don't know why he's going after like these like big fighters. I think he should build his record and then go towards like get closer, go up the ladder towards like a bell opportunity. I don't know why he's taking the. I mean, obviously because they do well. Netflix wants him to do this, obviously, because it's going to bring a shit ton of viewership to the platform. So everybody's making money off this, and which could be the reason why he also took this, because it was literally just for money. Because money goes great. Also, Joshua, if I was Joshua, I would have accepted the fucking fight, dude. Just because you're getting a bag. Now, yeah, Joshua, he has like a lot like on the line or whatever. Because like, first of all, even if like somehow like I don't think Jake's gonna win this fight. He's not. I don't think he's ready to fight this, because I mean Josh, like he said here, he's been like the top 3-4 fighters for the last decade, you know. He's a different beast, and I think this is gonna be Jake's toughest opponent. It's just that Anthony Joshua has to take this fight very, very serious, because if he doesn't take Jake seriously, I mean, he could lose. It's a possibility, you know. You can't. It all takes is one punch. So everyone says, you know, it's true. All it does take is one well-timed punch, and it could end the fight. So
And can he do anything offensively? And I think before I go into that, I just do have to give some fucking credit, like, because I slated Jake Paul when he went in there and beat up old man Mike Tyson, and I was frustrated at the lack of high quality opponents. And we all have to accept that this just takes massive balls. Yeah, he's getting paid a shitload for it. The kid's got enough money. We have to acknowledge the courage that he is showing here. And financially, I think this is a very smart move from Jake Paul if you ignore the brain trauma bit. Boxers are supposed to get into the game, make as much dough as possible, and get the fuck out. He has built a demand for people wanting him to be knocked out. He's made people care, which is one of the hardest things in boxing. Legendary Terence Bud Crawford's just retired. People really only started caring about his career in the mainstream very, very late on with the help of Turki Al-Sheikh. It's very hard to make people care. And by fighting these bigger names from MMA who obviously weren't real pro boxers, it's frustrated people. Then he's fought older boxers, then a really old legendary boxer that really pissed people off. And the demand was there for him to get chinned in a difficult fight. They're demanding you have to face good competition now. Does Jake go and fight a Darren Till, who's a very, very difficult fight for him that won't be for the biggest amount of money because maybe Darren Till isn't the profile of an Anthony Joshua? Or does he say, fuck it, give me Anthony Joshua? Yes, I'm probably going to get my ass kicked anyway. I might as well do it for the biggest bag possible. As much as I don't think that this is all about money for Jake Paul, it has to be a factor. And I think for men like Jake Paul, when they see an opportunity like this, they don't...
Remember, Jake is a businessman. He is a business. He's a great businessman. He's a great promoter. He's a great... Whatever he does, he knows how to get an audience locked on him. You know, even the hate. Like, I mean, he's getting reactions, and he's a genius, you can tell.
Don't look at it the way a normal person looks at it. A normal person will look at the enormous risk and go, I've already got money. There's easier ways through this. I could pick up another, decent guy and just incrementally build my way up still. But people like Jake Paul, those elite level achievers in life, and let's be real here, you might not like him as a fighter, but in life he's clearly winning. They don't get there by not rolling the dice. They look at situations and they downplay the risk in their mind because they think I'm special, and they focus more on the possibilities. What if I do land? And what's funny is if you put the brain of Jake Paul into some fighters out there who have talent but don't have that winning mentality, I mean, he'd be unstoppable, because there's a lot of very good fighters out there who maybe aren't heavyweight but very talented who would never fight Anthony Joshua. And yeah, borderline crazy, it absolutely is. But Jake Paul's belief that I am special has got him in a situation where he's made hundreds of millions now. And we have to look at that and go, fair fucks, that is impressive. And if he does lose, he shared the ring with one of the greatest heavyweights of an era. On his fucking Wikipedia, he fought Mike Tyson, he fought Anthony Joshua. It's pretty fucking impressive, no matter how you fucking look at it, for a kid who started fighting Deji. And on Friday night, when he steps through those ropes against Anthony Joshua and they touch gloves and he's lining up and we all know what we're expecting to happen, for those however many seconds it lasts, you're competing with Anthony Joshua. You're someone who they said you were shit, you had no talent, you were just beating up old MMA guys. In that moment, you are his rival. You are his equal, in a sense, because you are sharing the ring with him. And there's a lot to be said for that, in my opinion. For witnessing the Jake Paul story, kind of, I've interviewed him multiple times. When he looks back in life, providing he gets out of this and he's not seriously fucking hurt.
The thing about this is like, just like Joshua's height and weight is also higher by like a lot, obviously. So like Jake against Joshua is gonna look like Usyk versus like Tyson Fury, bro. He's a smaller fighter. He weighs less. Which is why I think if you were to take this fight, I would have taken it a little bit more down the path. Maybe put on some more weight and kind of transition up to the heavyweight. Just get a little bit more heavier. Yeah, because right now, like, Jake is literally pulling like an Usyk. He went up in the division right now. He's about to fight one of the greats. I mean, obviously Usyk is a much more talented and experienced boxer, and he's just, if Jake gets in he's like literally like the best boxer heavyweight right now, maybe of all time, arguably, genuinely. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. Jake is definitely the underdog, obviously. If you like to gamble, Do you put money on him? Like $5? You see what happens? Maybe. Okay, it is possible. I mean, thing with any fighting sport, there you can't like don't. There's a reason why they make movies about underdogs. I'm
Probably gonna say, yeah, fucking glad I did.
I still think Anthony Joshua's gonna win. Maybe not in like the first round, but maybe like around like 2 or 3.
I'm glad I rolled the dice. Fuck it, I'd do it again. What a wild ride. And don't get me wrong, when the fists are flying and he starts feeling that power, I'm not sure he'll be thinking that in that exact moment. But what a fucking journey. And I just had to acknowledge that just by getting in the ring with Anthony Joshua, he has proven literally millions of people wrong. Just to get to that level, just to show that bravery, fair fucks to Jake Paul. Now let's get...
Depends how much work he has put in the camp as well. I mean, if he's generally put in the work, because like from the pictures or like the videos they see online, he's been training with like some big dudes. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. I mean, if the practice paid off, you know what I'm saying, and then never not gonna happen. People have to give credit to Jake. Everyone wants to see him lose. Like he's not a real boxer. He obviously is. He's in the ring. He's getting these big events. He's doing what like literally no regular person can do. Yes, his following helped him all the way through that, but nobody just steps in the ring and like, even if like you have to give him credit. Like people say it's rigged. If the fights were rigged, the people first of all it's not legal. You can't rig a fight, especially from a big event. It's like saying, "Oh, dude, basketball's rigged." You can say that about literally any sport, about just somebody you don't like. You know, if they win, that's people are gonna keep saying. People are gonna keep hating. I just have like, even though yeah, cool. He found a new passion. He found a new sport that he wants to pursue. Why are people hating on it? It's just I don't know. People just hate other people succeeding, bro. That's it. They get jealous. It's all jealousy at the end of the day.
Real. Now it's time to get really serious, because this is worrying, this. I think the way that he has gone about this fight, it's just wrong. The fact that he was training for Tank Davis matter of weeks beforehand, who's a literal midget. Sorry, little person. I don't want to... And then you go from that to fighting one of the biggest, strongest, hard-hitting heavyweights in world boxing. It smacks of, I am not prepared for this, and I'm just fucking rolling the dice. And I admire it, the courage, but like, if you're gonna do this, you have to take it as seriously as a man like Anthony Joshua deserves to be taken. And a couple of weeks of sparring, you know, a few heavyweights, that ain't serious enough for me. I've interviewed Tom Aspinall. He exclusively trains with heavyweights because he's in the heavyweight division year round. And he says heavyweight fighting, it's a different sport almost, because the consequences of making a mistake are so much more diabolical that you have to train differently. And a quick turnaround like this, I mean, like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take AJ. If I was his advisors, I'd be like, look, if you insist on fucking doing this nonsense, because this is crazy, we're going to take a good 6 to 12 months solid training with heavyweights. We're going to fucking make sure that you are strong. You can't pivot from fighting a 135 pounder to a 245 pounder. My God, to 110 pound difference or something. You can't just pivot quickly like that. This needs to be systematic. We need to prepare. And the people around him, by just allowing him to just take this so quickly, obviously Jake Paul brings in a lot of money for everyone who's associated with him. I just can't think they're giving him good advice. And unfortunately, you know, when you're in the situation where you're the money man, backslappers and arse kissers are all around you. And they're usually the first ones off the...
Once again, it's still a win-win for Jake. You know what I'm saying? He just makes money, and he just, even if he loses, he got in the ring with Anthony Joshua.
Fucking shit when things go wrong, and I just worry about it, because he's putting himself in a very fucking dangerous situation here. And look, he's got a big head, right? He's a big lad. Maybe he takes a big shot and he fucking goes to sleep and he wakes up and he's fine, like many other, like in heavyweights you don't really get the level of scariness as you do with some of the lighter weights, because when they're weight training themselves, that's where the brain can take more trauma. But I'm still worried for him. I like the guy. I've gotten on well with him over the years. And unfortunately, for boxing's sake, we need Anthony Joshua to destroy him. If Jake Paul goes in there and is even remotely competitive with Anthony Joshua, every Tom, Dick and Harry's going to be thinking that the sport we love has no legitimacy to it. It's a very conflicting feeling for me right now. You've seen the start of the video. He's fucking every day, bro. And like AJ's knocking out Klitschko the same year. Like, that's unfathomable that this can be competitive. So let's take a quick look at AJ to start off with. Just refresh your memory of what he is going to bring to the
Okay.
table here. I mean, this is from his earlier years, and you know, just fucking hell. Just even watching one knockout's got me fucking worried. This was the fight against Dillian White. Dillian actually put up a fucking good effort, to be fair, and he still got fucking absolutely slept. And you can see the wobble. And we've not really seen Jake like extremely hurt yet. That's one thing that's going to be a bit weird. Like Tyron Woodley fight, a little bit hurt, but Tyron Woodley was a 170 pounder in MMA, and he fucking hurt him a little bit. This is the Dominic Breazeale fight. I mean, just
I remember that.
I mean, you can see the state of Breazeale's face, man. Jesus Christ. It's kind of how I expected it to go, really. Jake just in a corner, just getting the fuck beaten out of him, to be honest with you. I'll be interested to see how many towels Jake Paul's entourage have brought, because I have a feeling if things get hairy in there, every fucking one's going to be throwing a towel in. They'll empty the fucking hotel bathroom with towels, because they'll be ready to save this boy. It's just one shot is all it takes, you know, and they get back pedaling, and before you know it, they're out on the fucking arse. It's that simple with AJ. It just doesn't take much. It really doesn't, and that's a huge difference for Jake Paul. Jake Paul has been fighting guys who.
AJ is strong. He's scary. He's tall. His technique is a lot more. He has a lot more experience. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited.
You can have your hands down. You can get sloppy and lose your shape when you get a bit tired. You can stay too close and not get punished, because Nate Diaz, had he even had a boxing match before? Yeah, he was an MMA fighter. Range is completely different. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just not even throwing punches for the first 5 rounds. Mike Perry, just a tiny guy compared to Anthony Joshua. Like, the range is a whole new fucking game. This is the AJ versus Jermaine Franklin fight, and as you can see, the jab is landing there. The reason I brought this one up is because AJ just really had his hands up a lot in that fight. Everything was a lot more like old school AJ, and not like what happened under Ben Davison, where he had his hands very low against Daniel Dubois, paid the price for that. I expect AJ to look like a lot more like this, even though Jake Paul is not the threat of a Franklin. I think under Alexander Usyk's team, they're not going to want to give Jake any success. They're going to be like, that's a lovely jab. Keep your hands up and make sure, and look at that right hand.
I forgot Joshua's on Usyk's team's helping Joshua for this fight. So it's
Behind it. That's the sort of thing that I'm expecting. So AJ in range lands the lovely jab. Franklin tries to land one of his own and pays the price for it. Jake Paul is not used to trading like that at all. Even just that basic difference of having someone who can counter him so quickly and easily. Not just because AJ's got those big long arms, those big long legs, and could close the distance really easily. It's his brain, man. Like, I think that's massively being underestimated. He can exchange in close quarters or at range very fast and counter you, and all it takes is for you to just drop any hand and he can laser precision. We've seen what he did to Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, I think he changed stance and boom, he's out. He's going to be seeing things in Jake Paul's defense, the holes that are there, so quickly. And in Jake Paul's fight, it's kind of like, you have a shot, I have a shot. You have a shot, I have a shot, which is really what it's like when you're learning how to box. Like, it's not a knock on Jake Paul. That's just what people look like early on. When he comes in, he's coming like, I'm going to have a shot now. And then when they have a shot, he kind of backs away, runs out, and then he comes back. It's not like he's not in the pocket trading and slipping and countering. He's just not at that level yet. And that's why this is a disgrace from his coaches, in my opinion. You know, this is round 10. And AJ is moving around 250 pounds here, I remember. A lovely, beautiful straight shot there. And he's got Franklin, who's a very respectable fighter, on the back foot. Lovely combination thrown in there. And another, just devastating punches. And Franklin's got a fucking chin on him. Like, we got to acknowledge that. Sure. Again, another one. And then he backs off, keeps the distance. He's just on such a level, doing things that we've just never seen Jake Paul able to do, even against those smaller, older guys. And I know I'm saying things that are obvious here, by the way, for anyone who's in the comments, like, yeah, we know. I'm just making the point of, like, there are genuinely people who are giving Jake Paul a real chance here. Really, Mighty Mouse, the UFC legend, says he can see a world in which Jake Paul catches him, knocks him clean out. And I'm like, where is this data coming from? Like, because he knocked out Tyron Woodley, a man half the size of Anthony Joshua, who was not a boxer. So let's take a look at what Jake Paul has done recently and see if there's anything we can pick up that can give us any belief that he will even survive a couple of rounds. Now, this is the first round against Nate Diaz. Jake Paul all over Nate Diaz. Remember, this guy fought at 170, even 155 once upon a time in the UFC. He is not anywhere near as big as Jake Paul. Clearly struggled to handle the power early on, and Jake was just all over him in that first round. But Jake did not have the power to finish him in that fight. He could not knock out a guy who's, he's got a chin on him, Nate Diaz, at that weight, but he's taken a lot of punishment over the years. And you've got a massive size advantage, and you're the one who's been boxing, and he couldn't knock out Nate Diaz. That should be a major indicator that this whole, you can catch AJ. You could catch AJ. You could hit AJ. Doesn't mean it's going to do fuck all to him. Not with that big old fucking head and shoulders AJ's got. He's way bigger than fucking Diaz. And he's been getting clipped off of big lumps his whole fucking life. And there's this notion that because he went down against Andy Ruiz Jr., one of the fastest pair of hands in fucking boxing at the heavyweight division, and Daniel Dubois, one of the most best power punchers in the division, took them both fucking 5 knockdowns or something just to fucking finish the fight, by the way. It's not like he went down and he was completely knocked out with one punch, which is the idea behind Jake Paul winning. It's just not possible. But again, let's look at Jake Paul after the first round against Nate Diaz and how his shape looks, how he's actually composing himself, because he really tried to get Nate Diaz out of there in that first round. And one thing you see straight away is, despite that hard first round, Nate Diaz walking him down, walking forward with no regard for what's coming back. A fighter, only does that when I've taken that power and actually it ain't fucking enough to deter me. You ain't got my respect. All right, you won that first round. Now I'm going to get mine in. And you see here, Diaz is really not fussed about what's coming back. And this is only the second round. Like, this is where Jake Paul should still be very explosive and very difficult for Nate Diaz to handle. And it's just not there, really. And it wasn't there against Chavez Jr. either. He didn't get him out of there either. This knockout power thing about Jake Paul, I'm not saying he doesn't hit decently hard, but it's not enough to go up to heavyweight and start dropping fucking top 10 heavy.
That's what I'm saying. He should have stayed at like cruiserweight for a little while. I don't know why he decided to go take this. I mean, once again, probably for the money, but there's like other fighters that are closer to your weight that you can just take cruiserweight. I don't know why he's going up to heavyweight, at least this early in his career.
Not when in round 4 you look like this against Nate Diaz. It's just not logical. Like, you know what I mean? Diaz is putting it on him here. And like, Diaz is where's the acceleration in his fist, right? He's got no explosive power.
Yeah, that's what I worry about is Jake's conditioning. I mean, it needs to be perfect because, yeah, like from the past like fights I've seen from Jake, I mean, he gets tired pretty like quickly into the fight.
Well, whatsoever. If he can do this to you, fuck me. I'm only being this brutal because we're now not asking the old questions. We're not asking, is Jake Paul doing well considering he started off fighting Deji? The answer would obviously be yes. He's fucking in there with a UFC legend. Credit to him. But the question has changed. The question is now, can you survive in there with Anthony Joshua? And all of the evidence is pointing to fuck no. This is later in the rounds. We've seen how well Anthony Joshua kept his shape late in the rounds in that fight I showed you with Franklin. And Diaz is just walking forward here, nonplussed about what's coming back. And Jake backpedaling. And he can't get his respect yet. And actually, Diaz is putting the fucking pressure on. And he's laughing and pointing at him. And you're telling me he's going to fucking hurt Anthony Joshua? Fuck me, mate. And look, that was 18 months ago. Let's look at the last fight against Chavez. I've got the highlights here. Again, starts the fight well. He's got a nice bit of pop in the shots. He's springing off with his feet there, moving in and out. But again, hands really, really fucking low. Not worried about anything that's coming back. Just a completely different situation to what we're going to find him in against Anthony Joshua. And this guy, Chavez, he's just a time waster. Talk about a fucking build-up fight to an Anthony Joshua fight. I can't think of anyone worse to fight before you fight Anthony Joshua. The guy's done as much damage to himself as what boxing has. He's had, substance abuse issues. He's really a 160 pounder. Again, another guy who doesn't belong in there with Jake Paul in terms of size. And even still, despite Jake's natural size advantage, in the later rounds, what do we say again? Jake Paul getting walked down by a guy who does not hit very hard. Nate Diaz doesn't hit very hard. And yet, boom, have one of them. And Jake's on the back foot. And he's stalking him, yeah. He's marching forward. And a left hook straight flush on the chin of Jake Paul. Like, this is just utter insanity, this.
I remember that.
The more I'm watching this, the more I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's fucking crazy. Oh, no. What have we done? Imagine being a boxing trainer and allowing him to go in there with Anthony Joshua. You can't care about him. If you're his manager, his coach, his trainer, you cannot give a fuck about this kid's personal health and safety. You know, he's got a missus. I'm sure he's got plans to have a family and all that. The level of mismatch we're on here is where my brain is going like, yeah, normally at heavyweight, you don't see the kind of scary things you see in some of the lower weight classes, but I've never seen a mismatch like this before. I've never seen one. We thought Francis Ngannou, Fury was a bit of a mismatch. Turns out we were wrong. But even when Francis went in there with AJ dispatched of him. I mean, it says a lot when the highlight version of this is 3 minutes and the full fight version of it is 5 minutes. And you look at the size of the back of Francis Ngannou,
Dude,
right?
this is
The
a crazy
athlete
fight.
that he is. He belongs
wow.
in the heavyweight division. He is a heavyweight. Jake Paul's not even a cruiserweight. He realized if I bulk up to 200 pounds and I bring these 160, 175, 100, and I bring them up to 200, they can't handle my power to some degree. In the later rounds, they can't, to be fair. If Jake Paul was really trying to be a real pro boxer in the rankings and win an actual world title, he would be at 175 pounds if he you seen what he looked like in that interview at the start. He's nowhere near naturally big enough to handle Anthony Joshua or any one of those big heavyweight dudes. And this is what happens when Francis Ngannou tries to trade with Anthony Joshua. He gets fucking nailed, man. And remember, Francis Ngannou's got that big long arm out. He's got a deterrent there that's of equal, size, and AJ still just cut through it like a knife through butter. Jake Paul doesn't have that reach. And I understand he's saying, I'm going to be moving my feet. Mate, we've seen how quickly your feet slow down. And one thing I'll give credit to AJ was he actually just took his time with him and surgically dispatched of him. And that's one thing I think we can expect here. I don't expect AJ to rush in like an idiot and maybe walk onto something. I think he's going to be patient. He is like a tiger crawling in the grass, waiting for that moment to sink his fucking teeth in.
That's true.
And that's what happens. Sees the opening, takes it clean.
So that was the video. My personal thoughts, obviously, I still think that Anthony Joshua is going to win. Still big credit to Jake for even taking this fight. It's because, if any smart boxer would just, he's too underweight. He hasn't boxed anybody in that weight class before or of that skill level. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'll probably post a post reaction as well the next day. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe. Go check out the podcast at the Talk Catch Podcast. And I will see you in the next video.